Shabbat Shalom, my friends. I hope everyone has had a very good and blessed week. And I have had that myself. And sorry for the unnormal attire. It says born grumpy on my shirt. It does. Yeah, not very biblical. Because you're not born grumpy. And you shouldn't be grumpy. You should be full of kindness and joy. As the book tells us to be. The book. You know the book, right? You know what book I'm talking about? Do you? I hope. Not everybody knows what book I'm talking about. Got to keep my hat looking nice. It's a reminder for myself to do what it says. Every time I look in the mirror, right? Alright, so we are in Leviticus now. We have just moved past Exodus, where, it was an Exodus. That's what it was about. And about the building of the tent of appointment and the Ark of the Covenant, or the Ark of Elohim, as it is referred to by many in my book. And throughout the prophets, it's really, until it goes missing, it's referred to as the Ark of Elohim a lot by the people past Mosheh. So Leviticus is where we're going to be. I'm not sure how many chapters we'll get through today. It is a very beautiful day, but I have been very busy today. Today is Friday. For all of you who are unaware, I record these videos prior to Shabbat. I don't like to do things on Shabbat. Sorry, I'm rolling down windows. Because Shabbat is a day for not working. It is a day for teaching and learning, though. Keep that in mind. And I've been saying I've been wanting to do live streams during Shabbat for fellowship and things like this, but I have not gotten to it just because I've been banishing myself and other family members from electronics on that day. And until I get the people of my household in a routine of not being on devices all day long on Shabbat, doing things that are not biblical, doing things of the flesh as it happens to be, then after I get that sorted and situated, then I can go back to, doing things on my electronics, because I use my computer for learning, studying, and researching things for my book. And, so I do have the windows open in the vehicle today because it's cloudy and overcast, but it's a beautiful day. The temperature is around 65 degrees right now, which is unusual. For the past 10 years, we've had very hot Septembers and Octobers. We've had 80 degree Septembers and Octobers that I can remember for the past few years. This year, we are having a very cool September. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, lows in the 40s and 50s. So, keep that in mind for all the preparedness-minded people. We may have a very cold winter if you live in the Midwest. But that is not what this is about. This is about Leviticus. And the Father, and a bookmark. All right, shutting up, reading. I hear a dog. Leviticus 1:1. And Yahweh called to Mosheh and spoke to him from the tent of appointment, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when any one of you brings an offering to Yahweh, you bring your offering of the livestock, of the herd, or of the flock. If his offering is an ascending offering of the herd, let him bring a male, a perfect one. Let him bring it at the door of the tent of appointment for his acceptance before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand on the head of the ascending offering, and it shall be accepted on his behalf to make atonement for him. And he shall slay the bull before Yahweh, and the sons of Aaron, the priest, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood all around the slaughter place, which is at the door of the tent of appointment. And see, I think right here is when a lot of people get hung up on following Torah, is they think they still have to do this. And no, not right now, you don't. You don't bring offerings, you don't bring blood offerings and animal sacrifice type offerings to the Father. You don't have a priest or a temple or a tent of appointment to do this. So right now you can't. But we will. When Yeshua comes back, we will do this again. But a lot of people, I think, get hung up right here because you don't need to do this right now. There's not a lot of blood going on in the Torah past Yeshua's ascension. Once you get past that, there's not a lot of blood left. That was what he did. He took care of that for us with his own blood. So, yeah, don't get hung up there. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Verse 6, I believe. And he shall skin the ascending offering and cut it into its pieces. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire on the slaughter place and lay the wood in order on the fire. Wood in order on the fire. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall arrange the pieces with the head and the fat on the wood which is on the fire on the slaughter place. But its entrails and its legs he washes with water. And the priest shall burn all of it on the slaughter place as an ascending offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And if his offering is from the flock, from the sheep, or from the goats as an ascending offering, let him bring a male, a perfect one. And he shall slay it on the north side of the slaughter place before Yahweh. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall sprinkle its blood on the slaughter place all around. And he shall cut it into pieces with its head and its fat. And the priest shall arrange them on the wood which is on the fire on the slaughter place. But the entrails and the legs he washes with water. And the priest shall bring it all and burn it on the slaughter place. It is an ascending offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And if the ascending offering of his offering to Yahweh is of birds, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it on the slaughter place, and shall wring off its head, and burn it on the slaughter place. And its blood shall be drained out at the side of the slaughter place, and he shall remove its crop with its feathers and throw it beside the slaughter place on the east side into the place for ashes. And he shall split it at its wings, but not sever it. And the priest shall burn it on the slaughter place on the wood that is on the fire. It is an ascending offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. Now, there are some people that will still not necessarily do ascending offerings because you don't have a priest, you don't have a slaughter place, you don't have all the things required to do this. But there are people that, during the festivals and the feasts that are required by Torah, by law in this book, they will still cook the food in a manner that the book, the best way to say it is they don't leave leftovers. They put the leftovers on the fire. They put the entrails and the things on the fire and burn it. And this is still acceptable. I mean, if you're cooking the animal anyway, you can discard these things that you're not supposed to be touching anyway, or not supposed to be using for anything anyway. You can discard them in the same manner that they did here, and it will send a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. I mean, that's what it says, so I'm assuming he likes the smell. I'm assuming he can smell it. That's what it says. And I take this book very literally. I really do. Everything it says from cover to cover, literal. In my mind, it's literal. Anyway, I'm shutting up and reading chapter 2 here. Leviticus chapter 2. Wayikra. I don't know how you say it, but it's Leviticus is that. It's Wayikra. It's, Hebrew, I guess. And when anyone brings a grain offering to Yahweh, his offering is to be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil on it and put frankincense on it. And he shall bring it to the sons of Aaron the priest, and he shall take from it his hand filled with fine flour and oil, with all the frankincense, and the priest shall burn it as a remembrance portion on the slaughter place, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And the rest of the grain offering is for Aaron and his sons, most set apart of the offerings to Yahweh, by fire. And when you bring as an offering a grain offering baked in the oven, it is of unleavened cakes of fine flour mixed with oil, or unleavened thin cakes anointed with oil. But if your offering is a grain offering on the griddle, it is of fine flour, unleavened, mixed with oil. Divide it into bits and pour oil on it. It is a grain offering. And if your offering is a grain offering in a stewing pot, it is made of fine flour with oil. And you shall bring to Yah the grain offering that is made of these, and shall present it to the priest, and he shall bring it to the slaughter place. Pausing right there for a minute, because a thought just hit my brain here, and I just got to share it. See, back then, everyone grew their own food, produced their own food. Everyone, every household did this. Every household either had a flock of birds, a herd of sheep, or however you say sheep. Sheeps or flocks or herds, I don't remember. But everyone had animals for slaughter. Everyone, if they didn't have animals, they had a garden where they were growing grains and other things. And a lot of people had both. So everyone had the ability to do this then. Every single person. Thought that hit me. Verse 9. And the priest shall take from the grain offering a remembrance portion, and burn it on the slaughter place, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And the rest of the grain offering is for Aaron and his sons, most set apart of the offerings to Yahweh made by fire. No grain offering which you bring to Yahweh is made with leaven, for you do not burn any leaven or any honey in an offering to Yah made by fire. And I'm pretty sure burning honey wouldn't work out for you very well anyway. 12. Bring them to Yah as an offering of the first fruits, but they are not burned on the slaughter place for a sweet fragrance. He's talking about the honey and the leaven here. And season it with salt. Every offering, your grain offering, every offering of your grain offering, season it with salt. And do not allow the salt of the covenant of your Elohim to be lacking from your grain offering. With all your offering, you bring salt. Salt wasn't easy to acquire back then. It wasn't. And if you bring a grain offering of your first fruits to Yahweh, bring for the grain offering of your first fruits green heads of grain roasted on the fire, crushed heads of new grain, and you shall put oil on it and lay frankincense on it. It is a grain offering. And the priest shall burn a remembrance portion from its crushed grain and from its oil with all the frankincense, and an offering made by fire to Yahweh. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 because these are pretty quick. But yeah, an offering of your first fruits. There is a festival of first fruits. I believe it's in October actually this year. Anyway, don't quote me on that. I got to look that up. But I know when you have a harvest, you are supposed to give your first fruits. And I made this video a few days ago. I don't remember when it was. Been a busy week. The farmer where we had ordered some things from a farmer that we know. It's a friend of the family. And the farmer had taken all of his first fruits of his harvest, everything that he harvested, the first bits of it, and he had given it away to charity. And after he did that, everything grew in abundance. Like, he couldn't believe it. But he's doing what that says. He couldn't believe it. And yeah, the tomatoes we got were huge. They're in cans now. We canned them. That's what I've been doing most of the day, actually. Well, not most of the day. It took a couple hours to get the tomatoes. We actually had 14 jars of tomatoes. But that's not this video. We're getting back into the Bible here. Leviticus Chapter 3. And if that which he presents is a slaughtering of peace offerings, if he is bringing it of the herd, whether male or female, he brings a perfect one before Yahweh. Always bring your best at everything you do. At your job, you should be putting in your best effort, doing your best. When you're driving, you should be doing your best effort, not texting and driving and trying to kill the people next to you, like happens to me almost every single day. Don't get me started on traffic. Always put forth your best effort. Do your best. Bring your best. Always. Because you are the creation of Him. The temple is within you, as says Yeshua, Jesus. The temple is within you now. You are the temple until He returns and rebuilds the temple. Put forth your best. Keep the temple clean. Don't let things like this happen to your temple. This was long before this. We won't go there. But always your best efforts, your best first fruits, your best of everything you do. Always your best for Him. Because you don't half-ass it for Him. Because if you do that for Him, what do you think He's going to do for you? It says in here what He'll do. You will be blessed. Those that are doing His things are blessed. Those that do not do His things are cursed. Literally. Anyway, verse 2. And he shall lay his hand on the head of his offering and slay it at the door of the tent of appointment. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall sprinkle the blood on the slaughter place all around. And from the slaughtering of peace offerings he shall bring a fire offering to Yahweh, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat of it, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage on the liver, which he removes with the kidneys. Now, these are the fats that they're speaking of here, and to this day, you're not supposed to consume those fats. There's certain fats, even in your cows, that you shouldn't be consuming. Places like McDonald's will grind up the entire animal, its entrails, all of it, and you're eating that. You don't want to eat that. Not only do you not want to eat that for health reasons, but you also don't want to eat that for biblical reasons. So you really should. It's really hard, and we'll get into it in Leviticus 11, the food laws. It's really hard to keep the food laws. I think it's the hardest thing to keep. Not for the fact that it's a hard thing to do, but it's because they put crap you shouldn't have in everything. It's really difficult to sort through all of the ingredients of absolutely everything you get from the store. Anyway, not the point of this video. Verse 5. And the sons of Aaron shall burn it on the slaughter place until the ascending offering which is on the wood, which is on the fire, as an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And if that which he presents is from the flock for a slaughtering of peace offerings to Yahweh, male or female, he brings a perfect one. If he brings a lamb as his offering, then he shall bring it before Yahweh, and shall lay his hand on the head of its offering, and shall slay it in front of the tent of appointment. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle its blood on the slaughter place round about. And from the slaughtering of peace offerings he shall bring near as a fire offering to Yahweh its fat, all the fat tail which he removes close to the backbone, and the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage on the liver, which he removes with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn them on the slaughter place as food, an offering made by fire to Yahweh. And the priest shall burn them on the slaughter place as food, an offering made by fire to Yahweh. So he's burning them like you would cook the food on the thing. And if his offering is a goat, then he shall bring it before Yahweh, and shall lay his hand on its head, and slay it before the tent of appointment. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle its blood on the slaughter place all around. And from it he shall bring his offering as an offering made by fire to Yahweh. The fat that covers the entrails, all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage on the liver, which he removes with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn them on the slaughter place as food, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance. All the fat belongs to Yahweh. An everlasting law throughout your generation, in all your dwellings, you do not eat any fat or any blood. That's one that is tough there. Do you ever have a steak with a bunch of fat hanging off of it? A lot of people like to eat that. What's this telling you to do? It's telling you certain fats you don't eat. Now, when you go to the store and you get something like ground meat, there's a lot of fat. It tells you the fat content, 80% meat, lean, 80% fat. That's bad. That's not really good fat. There are fats that you eat. It's just in the food. You really can't avoid it in a lot of the food. Especially when you're eating a cow. Yeah, that's why they didn't have a lot of cows for food in the Bible. They had mostly sheep and goats and very lean animals. Wild game would be very lean animal, like a deer. It's pretty lean. So, yeah. I mean, do what the book says. That's all I can tell you. Read it, do what it says. Pray about it. Ask. I mean, the book tells you a law throughout your generations, an everlasting law for your household. Where in the book does it say, oh, but every law that says an everlasting law is just, it's done. You don't have to do that no more. Show me where it says that, please, because I read it and I haven't found it yet. And people who try to disprove the Torah, I feel sorry for them so much. People who are still eating bacon, that is not doing his things. That's being of the flesh, not being of the spirit. You are to be of the spirit, not be of the flesh. If you desire to eat pig so much, that alone is damning you. Even if you believe that pig has been made clean because your Bible lied to you with some brackets, somebody who wrote in there, somebody took the Bible and said, oh, let me just put some brackets here and write in. This means this for you, to deceive you. It's a deception. The Bible warns us so many times about deceptions. And anybody who's just reading that is being deceived. Anybody who's following that is being deceived. And if you just... It's frustrating. It's frustrating because I love all of you and I want all of you to get there. I want to see you all there because I plan to be there. I'm going to be there. I'll be there and I'll see if you get there. And I do mean if, because not everybody's going. The way is narrow. The path is straight, but the way is narrow and very few find it. Most of them find the wide open, big, curvy path that goes straight to their damnation. And is it worth it to you to eat some bacon? Is it worth it to eat some bacon? Let's just say I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. Let's just say I'm wrong and you can eat whatever you want. Are you willing to take the chance that I'm wrong? Because what if I'm not? And you eating that bacon is an abomination to you like my book says it is. What if I'm right? Are you willing to take that chance? I'm not. All right, I'm shutting up. We did 3 chapters today. We'll do more next week. I might do more videos in the week. I don't know. It just depends. It just depends on what he wants me to do. Yeah. Shalom.